Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. I have some unbelievable rumors swirling around, and I know you're just as eager as I am to get all the details. So sit tight, because what I'm about to tell you could be a game changer, not just for the Commanders but for the entire NFC East and potentially the NFL as a whole. We're talking about a massive trade rumor that has the potential to reshape the landscape of the league, and it involves none other than Christian McCaffrey. Yes, you heard right, Christian McCaffrey, the superstar running back from the San Francisco 49ers, might be heading to Washington. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, is this really happening? Well, as of now, there's no official confirmation from the teams involved, but the buzz is real, and the logic behind it makes a ton of sense. Let's dive deep into the details, the strategic implications, and what this could mean for the Commanders' future. First, let's set the stage a little. The 49ers, as we all know, have been a dominant force in recent years, especially with their dynamic offense led by players like McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. But 2024 was a different story. The wheels started to come off for San Francisco, and their season was, frankly, disappointing. They finished with a 6-11 record, which is far from what we've come to expect from a team with Super Bowl aspirations. And the reasons for that are many, but it's clear that injuries and roster issues played a significant role. Deebo Samuel, once a game-changing weapon, isn't quite the same player anymore, and trading him away signals a shift in their approach. Brandon Ayuk, after finally getting that contract extension, suffered a torn ACL and MCL last season, which sidelined him for crucial parts of the year. So, the 49ers are at a crossroads, and rumors suggest they might be looking at a rebuild or at least some significant roster reshaping. Now, let's talk about the potential trade that's been circulating, a hypothetical deal that would see the Washington Commanders acquire Christian McCaffrey. And in return, the 49ers would get some valuable draft capital, a third-round pick in 2026, a fifth-round pick that same year, and a fourth-round pick in 2027. To many fans, this might seem like a lot to give up for a 29-year-old running back with a recent injury history. But if you think about it, it's actually a pretty fair deal when you consider McCaffrey's talent and what he can bring to a team in the immediate future. If he stays healthy, he's arguably one of the best offensive playmakers in the league. And for the Commanders, adding a player of his caliber could be the missing piece to really elevate their offense to another level. Imagine a backfield pairing of Jaden Daniels, who's had such a promising start to his NFL career, with a healthy McCaffrey. That duo alone could be lethal. And let's not forget last season, McCaffrey ran for 459 yards and scored 14 rushing touchdowns, all while catching 83 passes for 564 yards. That's the kind of production that can turn a struggling team into a playoff contender overnight. Now, of course, there's always the risk involved. McCaffrey's injury history is well documented. He's missed time in previous seasons due to hamstring issues and other injuries. But if he manages to stay healthy, the potential is immense. The Commanders' offense, already with some promising weapons, would become even more dangerous with McCaffrey's versatility and playmaking ability. On the flip side, for the 49ers, trading away McCaffrey might seem counterintuitive. After all, he's been a cornerstone of their offense when healthy. But the team's recent struggles suggest that they might be going into a bit of a rebuild mode, or at least looking to retool their roster. The NFL is a league where teams have to adapt quickly, and sometimes that means making tough decisions. If the 49ers are concerned about their depth and future sustainability, especially with questions surrounding players like Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, moving McCaffrey for draft picks makes strategic sense. They get younger assets and draft capital that can help them rebuild or retool their roster for the long term. Now, let's put some perspective on this with what the betting odds say. FanDuel, a prominent sportsbook, has the 49ers at plus 2,000 odds to win the Super Bowl in 2026, which is exactly a favorite but isn't out of the question either. The Commanders, on the other hand, are slightly ahead at plus 1900. But here's the kicker: the current trajectory suggests that the Commanders are ascending, while the 49ers might be starting to stumble. With the right moves, especially if they manage to add a player like McCaffrey, the Commanders could become legitimate contenders very quickly. Remember last season, despite some ups and downs, the Commanders showed flashes of brilliance, and with Jaden Daniels leading the way, they have the foundation to build something special. Adding McCaffrey to that mix would be a game changer. His ability to line up as a runner or a receiver makes him one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the league. And pairing him with Daniels could create an offense that defenses simply can't handle. Think about the possibilities. McCaffrey's vision, agility, and playmaking combined with Daniels' mobility and arm talent. It's a recipe for offensive fireworks. And if the Commanders can bolster their offensive line and get some additional weapons, they could be looking at a team that's not just fighting for a playoff spot, but contending seriously for a deep postseason run. Of course, it's all speculation at this point. There's no official confirmation from the teams involved, and NFL franchises are notoriously secretive about their plans. But as fans, we can't help but analyze every rumor, every whisper, because we know that sometimes the biggest moves come out of nowhere. The NFL offseason is a roller coaster, and this year it might be no different. If the rumors prove true, and the Commanders do land Christian McCaffrey, it could be the spark that ignites their journey toward a Super Bowl. And for the 49ers, if they do decide to rebuild, they're setting themselves up for a new chapter, one that could be just as exciting in its own way. Now, I want to hear from you, Washington fans. What do you think about this potential move? Would you love to see McCaffrey in that navy and burgundy jersey? Do you believe he's the missing piece that can push the Commanders over the edge? Or are you worried about the injury risk and the price they'd have to pay? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back very soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep supporting your team no matter what. The NFL offseason is full of surprises, and we're right here, ready to bring you all the latest, every step of the way. Thanks for watching, and let's keep this football conversation going.